Hi, Dylan Shortridge here, and if you don't know who I am on a mission to bring home renovation companies into the 21st century by ditching all of the flyers and outdated forms of advertising and instead implementing new digital marketing strategies that really work. So, in this video, I want to go through and talk about sales pipelines. Now, this to some businesses is probably pretty basic, but if you're starting out and you're a newer business, knowing how to manage your sales pipeline is make or break, because what a poorly managed sales pipeline will mean you're missing leads, they're not becoming clients, people are getting forgotten about, and it all just becomes a complete mess. So you really want to get your sales pipeline just, really in tip top working order. And it's actually really simple to do. There's a few different ways you can do it using software, or you can do it really simply just on an Excel spreadsheet or something like that. But in this video, I want to talk to you about the fundamentals. So let's start off by saying what actually is a sales pipeline. A sales pipeline is the way that you can measure the throughput from leads coming in to clients coming out. So your whole pipeline is how you take that person as a new lead, a complete stranger, and making them become a paying customer. And there's different stages in a sales pipeline. So as you can see here, I've sort of drawn up a little funnel, because this is a lot of the time how funnels, pipelines, things like that are viewed in sales, because you have things that come in at the top and then they come back out the bottom as a customer. And each one of these places you'll have little micro subsystems, which I'm going to go on to. But the whole thing and the whole system in itself is your sales pipeline. So I'm going to imagine it here. If I just get the little drawing up, you would have a certain number of leads coming in, and they're all coming in at the top. And these is your, initial leads coming into the pipeline, and eventually stuff comes out at the bottom as a sale. So that's, big money for you. But how do we get them through here? Well, you need to segment your sales pipeline into different stages. And it needs to be stages that you can understand, and stages that you can track, and stages that you can know what the sort of what's needed to get from one person from one stage to the next. So a good way of doing this is sort of separating your pipeline up. So you can have different sections, such as, your new lead section, the people you've spoken with, your conversation section, and then you might have your scheduled appointment section, and then, maybe your second scheduled appointment section. It depends on your different sales process, because obviously within the kitchen and bathroom and home renovation industries, sales tend to take place over a longer period of time. You don't meet someone one day and then sell them the kitchen the next. Usually this is sort of a, 2 to 3 week, maybe even a bit longer sales process with, getting designs, finding out what they want, understanding their needs, and then coming back to them. And then, really, there's probably going to be some changes that they want to make, and all these different things. So that's why when you have a well segmented pipeline, you'll have these different stages here. So, you might have 100 people coming to the top at your, we'll call this one the new leads. New. And then this one would be, so your conversations. So this would be leads that you spoke to. You maybe haven't got an appointment with them at the minute. I'm just going to call that conv. I'm not going to spell out the whole thing now because my handwriting on here is awful. And you might have a conversion rate where you're looking at, 70% of the new people that come into your pipeline do engage with you. The nature of lead generation is that, you tend to see, you might get a lot of leads, but some of them will just completely ignore you, and it's kind of part and parcel of it. But you should be able to have some good systems in place that will get them from the new lead to the conversations. And the way that you do that is by having a really solid follow-up system, where, you have some emails, some text going out pretty much daily until you hear back from them. And you should be calling them daily until you hear back from them. And that way you'll be able to get this up to something like 70%, 80%, 90%. If you can, 100% is amazing. But, we're realistic here. We understand that sales is a bit of a numbers game sometimes, and you just have to sort of, go through them and, cut the wheat from the chaff, as they say. So then you get 70 people coming in here. In your conversation section, and then after conversations, really what you want to do is be getting them booked into an appointment. So you might have a conversion rate of here, which is what's one appointment? Let me just and then you might have the say another 60% conversion rate from conversations to appointments. So you'd have whatever 60% of 70 is. So I mean, what's that, like sort of like 45, 50? That's probably wrong, but I'm just doing that in my head real quick. So say we've got 50 people coming in through to here, and then of those people, you have the appointments. Some of them you'll just decide you're not going to work with them there, and then some of them will decide that they're not going to work with you there, and then you'll have another conversion rate which goes from appointments to the stage where the quote is sent. Quote. That says quote. Sorry about that. So then you'll have, of these sort of 50 or so people from here, you might have a 40 to 50% conversion rate here of getting them to the quote sent stage. And then what you're looking at is, say 20 people coming in here from the quote sent. And then, by the time they're at this point in this pipeline, you've got to remember that you're building up relationships with these people throughout this whole process. And, we'd expect that, by the time you send them a quote, with a really good solid sales process in place, you should be converting around 50% of these. So what you see here is the total sales pipeline has a 10% conversion rate. But that's not just, 1 in 10 people buy. I mean, it is, but that's got to be broken down into bringing people along through different points in it. And you will lose people inevitably at every single stage of it. And that can be really, really frustrating when you've got someone all the way to the quote sent and it's looking like a job that you really want to do, and then they go. But it kind of is the nature of the game in sales, and you just have to take a step back and make sure you're looking at everything from an analytical point of view, and you're only judging things based on data rather than getting emotional about it. Because, when you've got a good system in place, you know that there's going to be more leads coming in. You know there's going to be more conversations. You know there's going to be more appointments. You know there's going to be more quotes. If you lose one, it's whatever. With the right system in place, you don't need to worry about it, because you know that you can scale predictably using the data and looking at the numbers back, rather than putting all of your sort of fixations on each one customer and hoping that they come through. You should be equally spreading yourself across all of them, and trying your best to push all of them through, but also understanding that you will inevitably lose them at some points. So how can we keep track of a sales pipeline? Obviously, like I said, you could just set up a simple Word Excel spreadsheet where you can simply just move people along like that, and that can work really well for small businesses, and even up into large businesses. You can manage doing that. However, it sometimes does help to have some software to help you do this, and software that can help actually track the conversion rates for you, so you don't have to be sat there doing all the maths. We have a software that we use with all of our clients, which is a sort of just general CRM. I've got an example account up here just to sort of show you what this looks like. And as you can see, it's just the same stages that I mentioned earlier: new lead, conversation, scheduled appointment. Obviously, we also have stuff in here where there's no shows or cancellations. And then we'll have different processes based on, where people are. And when it's like this, it's really easy just to sort of, track where people are at. When you've got a new lead coming in, they come in here automatically. And you can link this up with however you're generating the leads, be it Facebook, Google, whatever. But when they come in, they're just, left their details, they become a lead, and then you can move them along and say, move them on to conversations. And this is really, really important. Something that you should be getting set up and started from very early on in a business. Definitely, if you're in the early days and you are still a newer kitchen and bathroom business, you're just maybe a one-man band, you might do all of it, everything yourself. Then, having a sales pipeline like this might seem like it's a bit too much of a faff and not really worth it just yet, because, you get your people from referrals, you close a lot of them. It's a difference. It's easier to keep track of when it's a lot smaller of an operation. But as it gets bigger, and as you grow, and as you take on more people to work with, and you start looking for more work, you need to have this in a situation, in a way that you can manage every situation. So, here I would be interacting very differently with someone who's been a no-show than someone who's a new lead to get them booked in. Obviously, you're still trying to get the no-shows booked back in. Just because someone just no-shows or cancels on you doesn't mean that you can't sell them something. Things happen, things come up in life, and you should have a process in place for when you get to the point where people do no-show on you or do cancel on you, and getting them back in. And the other great thing about having it as a CRM is, we've got here this dashboard system where you can just see here. I don't know why that's not showing up. That's a bit awkward, but you can see what it would be at. It's not showing where everyone is actually at on the pipeline. For some reason, it might be because this is an example account, and these are obviously all fake leads that we've made. But yeah, anyway, you'd have some sort of dashboard that shows you where you've got the conversion rates here. And then when you see them like this, and you see the different conversion rates, it's really easy to spot bottlenecks, and it's really easy to spot the processes where you actually need to put more work into. You need to remember that in sales and in marketing, you should be making decisions wholly based on data. Like, I don't care what someone has said to you in an interaction that might make you think, oh God, I need to change my whole system because I had a really bad conversation with that lead there, or that whole sales process just didn't go right and didn't go the way I wanted to, so I need to rethink everything. You shouldn't do that. You should stick to your guns and keep doing what you're doing and test based on data. And if you are looking to help boost your conversion rates and bring in more leads and understand a lot more about how to manage your own sales pipeline, we do have a link in the description below where you can find out a little bit more about how we might be able to help you with this within your business. Now, just for full transparency, it is obviously a sales funnel. So, I will be trying to sell you something in it, but you're more than welcome to not click it and just keep following the YouTube channel for all of the valuable content we're putting out on here. We're going to make lots more content showing you all about different ways you can manage pipelines, ways you can attract more customers, ways you can improve your sales, and all around just grow and scale your kitchen or bathroom business. So, that kind of brings me to the end of this video. If you've liked it and you found the content valuable, please leave a like or subscribe just to let YouTube know that you'd like to carry on seeing more of this content. If you have any ideas for future videos, or you have any problems within your business that you'd like us to sort of help you out with and address, you can leave a comment down below and we'll get around to reading all of them and coming back to you. But yeah, that sort of brings me to the end of everything. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.